All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. This is a rare thing. Every now and then, some things come along, and they're actually really good. So this is 3 weeks with the OnePlus 13. It's probably going on a month already. I'm not sure, but I know I've passed 3 weeks, and I'm excited to report that this phone has definitely moved the needle when it comes to what smartphones should be doing and what smartphones should be doing for the price as of 2025. So sometimes you'll get something that comes along and it's really good, and then it'll really be lacking in other areas. It really needs improvement. And then sometimes you'll get a phone that comes along that is actually really good. It's a little too hard to believe, and you start to look for a bunch of flaws. That's what I've been doing with this device pretty much. I've been using it, but I've also been curious as to why. I mean, it sounds strange, but I'm curious as to why other OEMs don't take this approach. But I want to respond immediately and say, well, they're not OnePlus. I think OnePlus, in the realm of where it's at in the United States, it kind of still has something to prove to the OEMs and the customers. This isn't a phone that a lot of people will go out and buy like in the masses, like Samsung and Apple and other OEMs, Motorola. You just won't see a lot of it. But when you see it, the people who have it, they're ecstatic. They're very happy and they have nothing really to complain about, or they have no regrets. And that is where I sit with the OnePlus 13. I have no regrets. As I stated before, when I initially bought this device, I got the watch here because I did the order or whatever. And I need to put it on. I still haven't given you a follow-up on the watch yet, but I will. I took a shower and then this other was in here. But I got to tell you, folks, this is probably the best $950 that I spent in a very, very, very long time. It came to $953 out the door or something like that. I didn't do a trade-in or anything. I just paid $900 plus tax, and I got the watch included, the watch too included, and that's what we have. I'm excited for those that are excited for this phone because it's kind of like you're in the know. Sometimes when you have something good like this, and a lot of people just write it off, they just don't know, and they're really wanting to stay in the safe zone, which is what they're used to and they're accustomed to. Apple, Samsung, Google. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not willing to give it a shot. And if they give it a shot, they don't really give it a shot, because I see some people, I had to return mine. And some of the reasons that they give for the returns, I get it respectfully. You have your own opinion on why you want to return something. But some of the reasons, I think, is just a matter of really giving it a shot. So with all that said, this hardware is some of the best hardware in the game right now. It's just what it is. It doesn't go without any imperfections, I would say. The OnePlus camera module really only looks good because of the way they have the complete package set up. I would not prefer this camera module over some others, but it does look better than some others. This combination that I have here makes this phone very beautiful. I've seen the all white one. Not too much of a fan of the combination of the way it looks. The black one is actually really sweet. And I think this is probably the better looking color. And I think people are drawn to this one, maybe, well, I'm drawn to it because of the way it feels. I heard nothing but good things about the way it feels in hand, and just this textured back and the way it feels like leather, it just feels solid. This is some of the best hardware that I've held. And you know, I'm the no case guy. At all costs, I'm not wearing a case. But this phone right here has helped me to kind of get past that too, and make me feel even better about not wearing a case, because when I'm holding the phone like this, I'm holding it like this, and so I could feel all of the case, like I could feel, all of the phone without a case, and I really like it. So outside of the camera bump, I've talked about that before, outside of the camera bump, everything about this phone is set up perfectly. It's a thinner phone because it slopes down on the edges, and so it feels much thinner in the hand than some of the other phones that have smaller batteries. And I get to that as well. This is the stack battery technology, and there's a 6,000 milliamp hour battery here in this thin package. And we already know that it's possible because we've seen other OEMs outside of the US do it. Xiaomi, Huawei, all these other companies have put big batteries in their phones, and they're still really thin. We're just talking about the US market though. So this hardware combination is put together. It will be nice if, someone will make a bunch of different colors in this particular design right here. Like give it a dark red back or a dark green back or just with anything you could think of. Remember Motorola used to have the colorful combinations you could purchase? That would be nice if OEM stepped out on a limb and did that again. That would be perfect. Because I do like this dark blue. It's really nice. But I would like to see like an ultra red, which is like a deep candy apple red version. Because the OnePlus Open came along with a different color later on. So they might do that again with this one. Yeah. And by the way, the OnePlus Open feels nothing like the OnePlus 13 on the back for the texture. You may think that they do if you just see them on video, but this is much softer and feels much more like leather. This feels like a tougher grain of leather, like in a car or something like that inside it. Like on the dash, that's what this feels like. But this feels like the seats in the car. You know what I'm saying? This is a beautiful piece of hardware. And then you couple that with, I got one of the most beautiful high resolution displays ever. This is really good. Let me clear my information out real quick. This is really good. This is a beautiful display. It just speaks volumes as to what companies can do and what they choose not to do. That's the thing. That's the thing. This phone costs $899. I've got 512 gigs of storage, 16 gigs of RAM, and I believe it also has RAM boost or whatever. The plus, where you use some of the storage. This is top of the food chain type phone. So you couple the hardware, the internals, the elite processor and all that, as I get that all out of the way, because that doesn't really mean too much to me, the processor. As long as it's running smooth, I'm good, because those are just numbers. But this display is absolutely stunning. It comes across just so good to the naked eye. If you have the OnePlus 13, comment freely, but also leave a singular comment with never settle. Never settle. Put that with your comment by itself and then make another comment. But comment never settle if you have this phone right now. And gather the troops, because I personally feel like, having owned now, and I have the S25 Plus and the S25 Ultra. The S25 Plus isn't here, but it's on the way at the recording of this video. But I'm ecstatic at how well this phone is put together. Let me show you the screen. The brightness is at 50% right now, and it's just beautiful. In person, there are a lot of phones that have a uniform screen like this, but I gotta tell you, this video also was recorded with the OnePlus 13. All the case videos that you saw for the Samsung products and all the videos you saw from what there was recording about the S25 Ultra up to this point were all done with this phone. And I intentionally did them all in HDR just to show you that their HDR is on par with Apple. It is phenomenal. And I can't wait to take this phone outside maybe this weekend at recording this video and get some stuff done to it. Get some stuff, just put some content out there. This is a beautiful display. And then also the speakers on this thing. I saw somebody say that the speakers was trash on this phone, and so they couldn't keep it, they returned it. Well, I don't know what you consider to be a good set of speakers, but these speakers right here, banging. They're good enough. I'm gonna crank it up and I'm gonna give it to you a little bit right here. Put it on, pull it, and then you're good to go. Yep, so one is here. This one right here will remove the dust. You do one first and then two. And you could actually... I don't know what a person is looking for in a phone with speakers, but screen and speaker combination on this joint right here, phenomenal. Straight up, it's good. It is good. I don't know what a person could be possibly looking for when looking for speakers on a phone. These are solid speakers. I sometimes when I'm cleaning up or doing laundry or something like that, and I don't want to put my music on the big surround sound system in the house because I'm gonna be walking around a lot, and I'll just put my phone on 100% in my pocket and keep it pushing. And this phone has been great. It has been great, straight up and down. No ifs, ands, or buts. This phone has been smooth. In my pocket, speakers blaring, it's been good. Straight up. Now, let's get this out of here. Software. The software on this phone has not crashed. And I've had it for 3 weeks. Been using it 3 weeks straight. Has not crashed. And I'm not going to say, oh, it's the Elite processor. A lot of people say, oh, the processor, I would say it's more along the lines of the RAM with 16 gigs of RAM and then an 8 gig RAM, virtual RAM boost, I believe it has in here. I think it has that. I need to double check because it was set by default. Let me just go in real quick and see. Let me go to, see if I can find the memory here. Memory. All right, we'll go storage then. RAM expansion. It does have it, and it's set to 12. Yo, I didn't know it was set to 12, but I have 16 gigs of storage, of RAM, and then another 12 gigs on the RAM boost. 18 gigs of RAM, folks. And I believe that is the reason why this phone just doesn't crash on me, straight up and down. I believe that's one of the reasons this phone runs so smooth. I really do. I think that is one of the main reasons, if not the only reason. And it also comes down to the optimization of the software for sure. But I gotta tell you, not a hiccup. Now, all you people who typed in never settle, have you had any crashes on your phone? If you have, say it. Because you know me, I'm going to let you know if a phone crashes. I'm not going to be biased at all. It just so happened. And a lot of the phones I get don't mess up with crashes and stuff. But it's been 3 weeks, and sometimes I get some phones that they definitely have some issues. They have some issues. So this phone, it's been phenomenal. No issues whatsoever. Software itself, outside of crashing and things like that, I typically don't have issues with phones, like I said, but I typically would go in here and keep it clean like this. Now, maybe this is why I don't have crashes. So I put a shortcut to those right there. If you don't, you just go into here and do it. But I just put it, once you go in there once, it'll tell you, do you want to put a shortcut on your desktop? I'm like, yeah, sure, because I'm going in there once or twice a day. I'm not even sure how many times I go in there. It's become natural for me now, so I just go in there and clean it up every now and then. The phone optimizes itself, but I just want that extra little boost. That's all. So I have my folders set up here the way I have it set up. What's up? What you barking for? Oh, she hear the birds out there. Shh, but you need to hush because I'm recording, son. But I have the software set up how I like it. I have all the folders organized the way I like it. And I just have not had problems. Now, the customizations on here, something that I don't use, but I need to start getting in here using this because some of these things in here, I go to the application. Like I'm always in my calculator and I use screenshot and screen record a lot. And I'm always in my files. I don't use Google Photos because I have this own photo app. I wish all phones would keep the photo app. I love that Samsung and some of these other companies like OnePlus keep their photo app. I do not like Google Photos. I don't care how much they change it and organize it and say they made it better. I do not like Google Photos. I know I may be a rare crowd. I know a lot of people might hate me for saying that, but it is what it is. I do not like Google Photos. I do not like them. I don't like how it organizes. I go there when I need to find something. Like if I need, what year was that? That was a 2015 or 2005, was it? And I'll scroll real fast and get to it for the things that are backed up on there. But I don't back up to Google Photos anymore. And I just do not use Google Photos. I do not like Google. And that's the downside of when I'm using my Pixel. I store everything on my cloud storage that I have. I have like a 2 terabyte or something like that, cloud storage on my server at my house, and I store it there. But a lot of that stuff in there, I use it. Day-to-day tasks being performed, everything is fine. Social media, everything is good. When I'm on social media, I try to stay off of social media and get the least amount of screen on time as possible. But I get a lot of emails, texts, and phone calls are heavy. I use my phone for phone calls. This is a real phone number, and I use it for that purpose. So I haven't had any issues with the network. I haven't had anything. Remember, I had to swap out my S25 Ultra because the network was super poor. It just wasn't good. Everything was slower when I try to stream or anything like that. It just wasn't good. I'm on Wi-Fi 7 right now, but nonetheless, questions about Visible. People have asked me about Visible. Does Visible work well with this phone? Yes. I don't know about eSIM because I have a physical SIM card. For my primary phone number, I have to have a physical SIM card because I want to test a lot of different phones, and so I want to have my main phone number, the one that moves around. So I've had a physical SIM card with Visible for I don't know how long, since I started service, I believe. Pardon me. And so when I use this phone, I have no issues with Visible wires whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. No drop calls, Wi-Fi calling works. Anything you can think of that you're going to ask me about Visible Wireless with the OnePlus 13, it works for me, and I have a physical SIM card. I've pointed this out in other videos, but pardon me, man. But the phone is working great. So the last thing I want to kind of talk about is the cameras and the battery life. When it comes to cameras, I believe that a company has to put in work. They have to do something to make their phone stand apart. This phone stands apart in an area that I think it's lacking, or I want more from, I should say. I can't say it's lacking because it's heavy in that area. Coffee game. Which is video. Portrait video to be exact. I wish that they would go ahead and do 4K or even 8K or 6K portrait video on these phones. This portrait video is better than every portrait video I use on any phone. Any phone. And I use the front camera for a lot of stuff. Let me pull up that video that I did about me having to send my phone, my first S25 Ultra back. It was done with the front camera of this phone. This was done with the front camera of this phone. Incredible. I mean, I just sat it right here in this office, turn it on, start talking. That's it. I did use an external microphone to get a good audio going. The audio on this phone is great when you're doing recording, but this phone did this video on the front camera. Absolutely great. Absolutely great. I have not one complaint. I gotta tell you, this camera does better portrait video on the front camera than a lot of phones can do on the rear camera. Banging out the frame, as Dame Drop says. This is good. This is good quality right here. If you're a vlogger and you like to have a real crisp video, and mind you, it was late when I shot this video. I just had one LED going. It was dark. It was late in the evening. I turned it on before I went to bed. It's like I got in late and I turned it on and just start shooting. I was like, I gotta get this off my chest right now. And I just started using this phone to record the video. Cameras on this phone give it I'm not gonna say it puts others to shame, bumpy cam, for those that have been around long enough, hashtag bumpy cam. I don't know if it puts others to shame per se, but it puts them on blast. It puts them on Front Street, because that is how footage should look when you're coming from a low light camera. And I've got phones with 1-inch sensors. They don't even look like that. But I can tell you one thing. The Hasselblad agreement that they have puts them at the top of the food chain. Simply put, it puts it at the top of the food chain. And I don't have to beat that horse up because every time I record a Samsung phone, I'm probably going to use this phone or this phone because they both have the Hasselblad agreement and collaboration, and they both can shoot the same. The 13 just does a little bit. I mean, you can tell just a smidgen. I'm going to use these two phones, predominantly this one, to shoot footage of other phones. I like them that much. And I'll also use the phone I'm recording with, which is the king of iPhones, the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Now, last thing, battery. Battery life on this phone, everyone is raving about. You know what I'm saying? We all rave. When I say everyone, I'm including myself. We all rave about how well OnePlus put it together and the stack technology for how thin this phone is and then how good the battery life is. We all rave about this. We rave about it. But the fact of the matter is, if I can go 2 days solid with this phone and into the third day, you definitely can. No, nothing else. If you put in this comment section, never settle, you're probably going to say, we didn't settle. This phone exemplifies what a smartphone should be going forward and beyond. And the only thing that others can do is probably take some notes, because this hardware, top tier hardware, the cameras, top tier cameras, the battery, top tier battery and performance, software, top tier, price, amazing, the value to consumer. If you want a high-end flagship device, this is the one for you. You got everything you want pretty much. If you're that person that feels like you got to have the best, it's right here. They've proven themselves. Now, the only bad thing is they better not start slacking. If something goes wrong with this phone, I'll be the first one to tell you. Simply put, I'll be the first one to get on and tell you, hey, this is what messed up. I'm having a problem with this. I'm going to try to get it fixed. Everybody complains about OnePlus's customer service and how their warranty program is whack and it takes a long time to get your phone back, all these different things. Be a little bit more gentle with your phone. I don't know what to tell you. If something goes wrong, I'm going to file my claim for my warranty or whatever, and I'm going to report back to you how it went. But I think if you go into a situation with a certain type of demeanor, or however you talk to them over the phone or whatever, that might determine sometimes that you get this slow service, or it might not. They might just have bad turnaround times with warranties. I can tell you this, I don't ever want to find out. It's your man Jay. I hope you guys enjoyed. The OnePlus 13 has made its mark. And for $899, folks, even at $999, when compared to the competition, no one's touching it in the United States market. I got to put that out there. Well, Jay, the Vivo, I get it. In the United States, in the U.S. market, there's not many phones, if any, that's touching this package right here. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.